How's it going, everybody? I'm the best that is, the best that was, the best that ever will be. There'll be none before me, and there'll be none after me. Therefore, I am a one and only Jay Covey, and welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. We got an action-packed week this week with your news of the week, followed by a SmackDown Raw review, and then we go into our review of Payback. And then we have your drink of the week, followed by a reading from the Book of Rules, and then your Battle Droid of the week. Let's get into the news this week as a big name has left AEW. Sonny Kiss has officially gone off the roster for AEW. Yeah, I know, it was a joke. That was a joke one, but Sonny Kiss has left AEW. Good luck to Sonny Kiss, amazing wrestler. But the big name that has left AEW is CM Punk. CM Punk is no longer associated with AEW. Tony Khan has fired CM Punk as he was instructed to do by a unanimous vote by the board and legal team. As of always, we wish CM Punk his best of luck on his endeavors, and I hope that he either learns from this mistake or decides, you know what, maybe it's time. I think he'll decide it's time and walk away gracefully. If not, we'll probably see him in WWE at the Royal Rumble, and then he'll show up and have a match with Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. Maybe. And your final story this week. Two big names are on their way back to WWE. I say big, it's because it's the Authors of Pain. The Authors of Pain are apparently coming back to WWE as Razor and Akam have apparently signed new deals. They signed new deals all the way back, apparently in August, maybe late July. So apparently maybe they might be coming back to WWE. That is the talks. So we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully they can come back and be a dominant force and win the tag team titles. They had a good run with Drake Maverick as their manager. But I would love to see Paul Ellering back in. That's the talk. He's apparently coming back to manage him. But that does it for your news this week. Let's go into SmackDown. SmackDown kicked off with apparently the best there is, the best there was, John Cena. He is now called the greatest of all time, apparently. Sounds good to me. John Cena says he'll wrestle for the first time in India next week, and he is going to be the host of Payback. It was an awesome time to see him there. Loved that. That was a very cool little segment John Cena had at Payback. Jimmy Uso then came out with a new theme song. The fans chanted, "We want Jay." Jimmy asked what he's doing here, because he will not become World Heavyweight Champion again. Cena then just looked at him and said, "The wrong Uso quit." Jimmy tried to super kick Cena, but Cena caught him with an AA. We then get Grayson Waller and Austin Theory versus the LWO. United States Champion Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar. It was a very good match. It actually showed Grayson Waller's real wrestling abilities. Grayson Waller was able to pin Escobar in this match. We then get Michin and Mia Yim talking to Adam Pearce backstage when Jimmy Uso interrupted it and insulted her. Michin then complained that AJ wasn't going to then complained to AJ Styles. So I guess AJ Styles is just treating Mia Yim like a little sister now? I don't know, this is weird to me. We then get Bobby Lashley talking to the Street Profits about their relationship. They said it's been a long time since they've had this kind of success, and thank the Almighty. They're putting everybody on notice that they're coming for championships. You know, I don't know what to think. Apparently they're still listed as faces right now and will be turned heel soon. They're heels. There's no question. They're heels. I just think that's stupid. Anyway, we then get Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the LWO of Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were able to pick up the win in a nice match. After the match, Sami Zayn then told the Judgment Day to bring everything they have tomorrow night at Payback. We then get AJ Styles confronting Jimmy Uso backstage. AJ shoved Jimmy. This led to Solo Sikoa attacking AJ from behind. Solo then told him he's not out of the bloodline until they say he is. And Jimmy and Solo and Roman Reigns then said, Jimmy said that Solo, Paul Heyman, and Roman Reigns no longer tell him what to do. It was then announced AJ Styles will have a match with Solo Sikoa later on tonight. We think of The Miz pretending to be LA Knight. Yeah. This was a really weird show. The Miz says he isn't on his level. Knight then came out and said this was basically a nice promo between them. Miz mocked LA Knight, and then it led to a fight. LA got up, went into ring after the Miz, attacked him from behind. The referees and producers had to separate them, basically making waves for payback. We think it's Shotzi and Bayley in a great match. Shotzi was able to actually pick up the win. I am very happy with this. Shotzi picking up the win over Bayley is a great move for WWE right here. It's really helped building their women's talent. We then get Solo Sikoa versus AJ Styles. This was a awesome match. Solo Sikoa was able to pick up the win after Jimmy Uso cost AJ Styles the match. Going for a phenomenal form, Jimmy Uso interfered and pushed AJ out the top rope. Jimmy then hugged Solo from behind and tried to celebrate, but Solo grabbed his hands and went for the Samoan spike. Paul Heyman stopped him. Jimmy then super kicked AJ and followed up with an Uso splash. Jimmy held the one up in the air, showing he is still with the bloodline. Alright, so I guess Jimmy Uso is still with the bloodline. Yay. I guess we're not getting the bloodline falling apart yet. And if any indication is what's happening at Raw, what happened at Raw this week, it will lead to something bigger. But let's go into Payback first. As Payback kicked off with a 20-minute steel cage match between Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus. This was a fun match, and you know what? Great job by both women really showing out. Trish Stratus turning back the clock. Zoe Starks got involved as well, which was awesome. Becky Lynch finally picks up the win over Trish Stratus, and after that, Trish slaps Zoe Starks. Zoe Starks hits a Z360 on Trish, and it's official, Trish and Zoe are no more. We then get John Cena coming out to talk about hosting Payback, and The Miz then came out and said that John Cena is not a good host, and he even made fun of the Barbie movie. He said when they ask you to dress up as a mermaid in a Barbie movie, you say no. John Cena then announced he will serve as special guest referee for this match. LA Knight then came out, and The Miz and LA Knight tore the house down. Great match by them. LA Knight picking up the win after The Miz tried to basically cheat. Great job by LA Knight, and The Miz had an awesome match. Really goes to show The Miz's talent as well. I hate that people are really treating The Miz as something forgotten. Just my opinion. We then get Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship. Rey Mysterio was able to pick up the win. This was kind of the slow match of the night. Didn't really feel as good as the rest. Still a good match though. Serviceable. Rey Mysterio defends his title. We then get the Judgment Day versus the champions Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in a Steel City street fight for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. This was a fun match, man. Everything that could happen, happened. JD McDonough interfered. Dominic Mysterio. Rhea Ripley speared Kevin Owens through the barricade. It was awesome. Great match. Fun match. You had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. It's had to be a tribute to The Fiend, man. I just saw it, and I'm like, that's kind of what The Fiend... So, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn got thrown over the barricade in their regular clothes, and then they stand back up in the Pittsburgh Pirates jersey, Pittsburgh Penguins jerseys. Michael Cole now. Michael Cole had a great call on commentary. He goes, look at the Steelers jerseys, won 5 Super Bowls, and all you hear is Corey Graves just go, Cole, they're the Penguins, and the Steelers have won 6 Super Bowls. It was hilarious. The Judgment Day then were able to pick up the win. This was unbelievable to me. I had no clue. I didn't think it would happen. The Judgment Day holds all the gold on Raw, except for the IC title, which I could see going to JD McDonough. We then get Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez in a very good match. Rhea Ripley was able to pick up the win due to a little interference from Dominic Mysterio. In a 17-minute match, Rhea Ripley picks up the win. Just a hoss fight, and you know what? This was great for Rhea Ripley to have a longer match. Really hasn't had a long match since her match with Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, so awesome to see that. We then get your main event, Seth friggin' Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura, and people are giving this match shit. I don't know why. This was an amazing match. Awesome match. I loved this match. And you know what? I truly feel like I'm a WWE fanboy right now. But you know what? They put on a great show. They truly did. Seth freaking Rollins and Shinsuke tore the fucking house down. This was... Seth Rollins would hit the stomp to pick up the win. But it was more of The Undertaker and Triple H at WrestleMania 27. Undertaker won. Triple H was the one who walked away. That's what happened here. Seth Rollins won. Shinsuke was the one who walked away. You win the battle. I win the war. Let's have a rematch. And it will be, hopefully, a Fastlane Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke. If I had to grade this pay-per-view, B+, if not A-. Great pay-per-view. Enjoyed it. It was fun. It had every match that you wanted to see on it. So, loved it. Loved this show. Let's move on to Raw. As Raw kicked off with Jey Uso finally saying welcome to Monday Night Raw. Sami Zayn would come out and interrupt him, say he's happy to see that Jey broke free and is on the Red brand. Sami would hold out his hand to shake his hand. Jey wouldn't shake his hand, and Sami would start to leave the ring. He would call Sami back and give him a big hug, saying that wasn't very Usi of me. You know what? I loved that. Awesome. Jey then starts going backstage. You see Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle staring daggers at him. Because, kind of cost them both the Universal title. Yay. You would think of the Viking Raiders with Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle. Apparently, they're calling them the Glass Bros. Not bad. Viking Raiders were able to pick up the win after Kofi Kingston would hit a Trouble in Paradise on Riddle, costing them the match, sending Riddle through a table. Viking Raiders pin them 1, 2, 3. Viking Raiders pick up the win. We think it's Seth Rollins calling Shinsuke Nakamura for attacking him after Payback. Seth Rollins would give Nakamura another rematch for the title, but Nakamura said no. A brawl broke out, and Ricochet would come out and even the odds for Seth Rollins. It would then be Ricochet versus Shinsuke. That would be a good match, but would end in a DQ after Shinsuke attacked him with a steel chair. Seth Rollins would come out and make the save. Good match. You would have the Judgment Day showing up to celebrate their tag team wins. JD McDonough would interrupt and give Priest a new purple Money in the Bank briefcase. Very cool. You would then get Shayna Baszler versus Zoe Starks in a great match. These two really showed it out for Raw, and I would have to say one of the matches of the night. Shayna Baszler would pick up the win after Zoe Starks would pass out in the Kirakuda clutch. And as she was pulling herself up by the ropes, Ronda walks up and goes, Shayna walks up and goes, "You gave me a better fight than Ronda ever did." Gives her a fist bump, showing the sign of respect from UFC. Love that. We then get Raquel Rodriguez versus Chelsea Green. Raquel beat the shit out of her. And then we have this. This was the horrible segment of the night. Miz TV with special guest John Cena. And I say ghost because Cena wasn't there. It was just an empty chair. The Miz then challenged LA Knight to a rematch. He would pretend to hit the skull-crushing finale on the fake John Cena. And I guess we're going to get this feud continuing, which I'm not mad at. I just wish it was better. We then get JD McDonough versus Sami Zayn. JD McDonough would pick up the win after Sami Zayn would be distracted by Dominic Mysterio. JD McDonough would pick up the win, and then Sami Zayn would try to hit Sami Zayn would try to hit Terry Dom with a haluva kick. He would be saved by JD. Then JD would take the haluva kick. I'm guessing you gotta earn your lumps to get into Judgment Day, brother. It was then noted that Jey Uso will be on Raw, and someone will be traded to SmackDown in exchange for him. We then get your main event, a great match between Gunther and Chad Gable. Awesome match. This one is up there with Shayna and Zoe. I think just passes it just in the end. Chad Gable put up an awesome fight in front of his family, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. Gunther would retain his title and has officially broken the record-setting reign of the Honky Tonk Man. That record has stood the test of time. It was still standing when he entered the Hall of Fame. You know, when he entered the Hall of Fame, everybody was talking about, I want to hear what the Dudleys have to say. I want to hear this. I'm like, but he does realize one of the greatest Intercontinental champions ever is going into the Hall of Fame, right? I want to hear what he has to say. I want to hear the stories of the feud with Jake the Snake Roberts. I wanted to hear that shit. And you know what? I felt he got buried. So you know what? I think Honky Tonk Man deserves a little more respect on his fucking name. Just my fucking opinion. And Gunther breaking his record title reign, you know what? That just goes to show the talent they believe Gunther is. So Gunther truly deserves it. Awesome match. Awesome show. Really enjoyed Raw this week. Woo! I could use a drink. And to get ready for Fastlane, let's have an old fashioned. This is a classic cocktail, very easy to make. It's 2 ounces of whiskey, 2 dashes of bitters, a little bit of sugar, a splash of water, and an orange. So you can combine the sugars, the bitter, and the water at the bottom of the glass with the rocks glass. You gotta muddle the sugar until it dissolves. Add ice, add whiskey, stir well, combined, add orange and cherry. And there you go. You have an old fashioned. It is a classic drink. One of the few cocktails that has survived the years. It would be one of the first ones to appear in 1806. Remember that, 1806. Great drink. Very fun. Please drink responsibly. Do not drink and drive. Do not drink if you are under 21 in the United States. And do not overconsume on alcohol. Ugh. And now we're reading from the Book of Rules. Pajamas are not an acceptable ring attire unless you are the world's largest love machine. A reading from the Book of Rules. And now, everybody, it is time for the Bell Droid of the Week. The Bell Droid of the Week is very simple for me. It is CM Punk. How do you blow this, man? You had the world on your side. Finally, an open mic to talk about how you were screwed over in WWE. And all you do is prove them right. You know what? I've made a lot of enemies in my life. I try to be a good person. I really do. And I try to be the guy who's liked by a lot of people. If people don't like me, I accept it. And I don't try to make enemies of them. But I've made a few. And there are times when I've proven them right. Of like, hey, you can't do this. And you know what? They were right. I couldn't do it. But 98% of the time, I prove them wrong. And I worked my ass off to be the best that I can. To be the best person, the best worker. Anything that I could try to do, I try. It was the best line I ever heard from Kevin Hart. The things I could do, I did. The things I couldn't do, I tried. And this is what CM Punk did. I don't even feel like he tried. He was their champion for a little while. Lost the title, won it back, got suspended, came back, had the real world title apparently, then had a match with Samoa Joe, then got suspended again, then fired. CM Punk, man, you're a great wrestler. All-time awesome wrestler. This was a mistake, and I hope he learns from this and truly tries to be a better person. Again, we don't know everything. Apparently what happened was Jake Perry was backstage coming by. CM Punk said, "Hey, you got a problem with me?" And Jake Perry said, "Maybe I do." Punk then shoved Perry and then choked him out. Shoved Perry into TV monitors, according to Tony Khan. I don't wish for anyone to get fired. I truly don't. To be fired is to lose one's livelihood. I hope CM Punk comes back on his feet. Maybe he'll go back to making movies. Maybe he'll go back to writing comics. Maybe he'll go back to wrestling. Go back to WWE. Who knows what the future holds? But for right now, CM Punk, you are the Bowser of the Week. Congratulations.
Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. Next week we enter the fast lane on our way to WWE Fastlane. We are going in the road and we are speeding hard. And hey, life in the fast lane. Thank you very much for listening to Wrestling Made Simple. Have a great week in wrestling.